Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Sheeran is the storm that is approaching. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Enjoy the content and have an awesome day. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Netflix series Jurassic World Chaos Theory, as well as my thoughts on the entire series as a whole and ranking the seasons from weakest to best. The reason it's taken me so long to make a video on this is because I wanted to wait for the show to be completed before covering this topic. That way I can cover the entire show all in one video. I also won't be going into too much detail about the characters or the story, because if I do, we'll be here all day. With that said, if you enjoy this video and want more content like this, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more. It would really help out a ton. But with that, let's begin my ranking of each season from weakest to best. Season 1 is by far the weakest season in my opinion, mainly because its pacing is the slowest out of them all. Saying that, it's by no means bad. I've enjoyed every single season of this show. The first season centers around the Nublar Six, who throughout the season reunite for the first time in 6 years to figure out why they're being hunted down by a pack of Atrociraptors. Every member returns except for one. Brooklyn is apparently dead, and it's up to the other 5 members, Darius, Ben, Sammy, Yaz, and Kenji, to figure out what happened. Along the way, they encounter the Atrociraptor squad from Dominion, or at least 3 of the 4 members, Red is nowhere to be found, who are under the control of a very pale woman with an unsettling appearance, who has a whistle that sounds an awful lot like Edward's whistle for some reason. They also come across an Allosaurus with a missing eye. This is confirmed to be the same Allosaurus that appeared in the 2019 short Battle at Big Rock, as well as 2 Beckel Spinaxes named Blonde and Brunette. Darius, however, believes something is off about the whole situation, and when he reunites with Ben, who came to get him, the two go off to look for the others. First, they go to pick up Sammy, who currently resides at her family's ranch in Texas, followed by picking up Kenji somewhere in the mountains, who sparks tension with Darius due to Brooklyn's disappearance. Then they finally pick up Yaz, who's residing in some dinosaur therapy community, which is meant to help people with trauma about dinosaurs. As for other new species to appear, we also have the introduction of Pachyrhinosaurus and Suchomimus, as well as the return of Bumpy and Big Edie. Towards the end of Season 1, it's revealed that Bumpy is pregnant and she lays an egg. There's also an episode that's told in flashbacks of Brooklyn's last interactions with each Nublar 6 member before her disappearance. In the scene where Darius interacts with Brooklyn, it's revealed that Darius actually has feelings for her, and he even told her this. Problem is, Brooklyn is Kenji's girlfriend, and the reason Kenji is mad at Darius is because Brooklyn recently dumped Kenji, and Darius was the last one to have seen Brooklyn before her supposed death. My main issue with this season is that it takes a while to get to the action, and it's mostly banter from the main cast. Otherwise, it's a great season. Season 3 was better than Season 1, but not as good as the other 2 seasons, and by this point, the show now takes place during the events of Dominion rather than before. Most of the season takes place back and forth between Italy and Malta, where Brooklyn is continuing to try and expose Soyona Santos while the rest of our heroes go to Italy. While in Italy, everyone meets Ben's girlfriend, Gia, who was teased in the last 2 seasons along with her grandmother. Gia speaks both English and Italian, while her grandmother only speaks Italian. Gia is actually a dinosaur expert just like the others, but can't let her grandmother know, for she has a hatred for dinosaurs. Meanwhile, Bumpy's egg hatches, and her son is born, whom Kenji names Smoothie, and he grows an instant attachment to the dinosaurs. Our heroes all have to make sure to hide Smoothie from Gia's grandmother, though she eventually finds out about Smoothie after forming a bond with Kenji, and she also bonds with the dinosaur. While in Italy, our heroes are attacked by a Pyroraptor as well as the Atrociraptors from before. The gang then splits up, with Darius, Ben, and Yaz returning to Malta, while Kenji and Sammy go with Smoothie to look for Bumpy. While in Malta, Darius and friends finally reconnect with Brooklyn, who helps them stop the black market and expose Soyona Santos once and for all. The climax takes place in a helipad, with Santos, the Atrociraptors who had survived chasing Owen and Claire in the movie, as well as the creepy lady from Season 1, and our heroes. The creepy lady manages to turn the Atrociraptors on Santos, even red, and in response, Santos sends the demon Carnotaurus to attack the Atrociraptors. The Carnotaurus manages to kill Ghost before the creepy lady stops the fight to try and reason with the Carnotaurus, and she gets eaten. Santos gives up and is arrested by Barry, who helped our heroes out at the beginning of the season. Overall, this season was still an awesome one, and it only gets better with the final season. Season 2 was a huge improvement over the previous season, with a lot more dinosaur action this time around, and I do mean a lot more. The season picks up right where Season 1 left off, with the Nublar 5 sneaking on board a cargo ship loaded with dinosaurs that are being transported to an unknown figure called the Broker. While on the ship, one of the dinosaurs actually escapes its containment and antagonizes our heroes and some of the workers. The dinosaur in question is a male Majungasaurus named Major, who was set up to be the big threat in this season, but only appeared in 2 episodes. We also get a lot more screen time with the Suchomimus, which only appeared in 1 episode in Season 1, where this time it chases the Nublar 5 across Africa, which is very fitting for Suchomimus, seeing how it lived in Africa around 125 million years ago. That's right, this second season lands our heroes somewhere in Africa. I believe it's Senegal, where they meet with a woman and her daughter named Zanya, who, like Ben, has a pet dinosaur of her own, a female Gallimimus named Geba. Geba, along with 3 stegosaurs, live near the mom and daughter to protect them from a Suchomimus. The Sucho attacks our heroes and fights a hippopotamus until it's killed off by Major in his second appearance. Meanwhile, Ben makes a shocking discovery that he hides from the rest of his friends. Brooklyn is actually alive, and this was teased at the tail end of Season 1. Speaking of which, the season also focuses on Brooklyn, who is trying to get to the Broker and expose them. She manages to get to her, and it turns out to be Soyona Santos, the Atrociraptor handler who made her first appearance in Dominion, and is even voiced by the same actress, making her the only character in both series to have her original voice actress. Brooklyn pretends to want to be Santos' apprentice to get on her good side, and is put to the test when she's introduced to Red the Atrociraptor, which explains her absence in the last season. The adventure eventually leads our heroes to Malta, where they come across a blind albino baryonyx who is created by a man named Dr. Sar, and it antagonizes them towards the end. At first I thought Dr. Sar was Zanya's father, and I was like, ugh, another trope where the father is evil? Give me a break. But later on, we meet Zanya's real father, who is actually one of the coolest characters in the show. The Baryonyx teams up with Red the Atrociraptor to antagonize our heroes, but not before they turn on Dr. Sar. The season ends with the Nublar 5 reuniting with Brooklyn, who pushes them away to go with Soyona Santos, but not before she gives Bumpy's eggs to her friends as a parting gift. This season was overall a really good one, and I couldn't wait for Season 3. Season 4 is easily the best season out of them all. You can call me biased due to the fact that this is the newest season, but let me tell you this. This season really did Dominion justice. The story takes place in Biosyn Valley, where Darius, Brooklyn, Yaz, and Ben fly on an autopilot plane to Biosyn Valley, where they're attacked by the Quetzalcoatlus. They successfully escape the giant pterosaur before landing in the facility. They get help from one of Brooklyn's old colleagues to get them into the facility, where they can finally find out what's going on. The gang comes across a new training room, where 6 new Atrociraptors are being trained the same way the original Atrociraptor squad were trained. Two Atrociraptors, however, manage to outsmart the training simulator and turn on the testers, and they escape, as well as the other raptors. Meanwhile, Kenji and Sammy make it to Biosyn Valley themselves to look for Bumpy. They run into Louis Dachshund, who, after some convincing from Kenji, reluctantly agrees to help them find Bumpy. By the way, he ends up going against his word and abandons them in the forest. While that's going on, Nublar's resident T-Rex known as Rexy enters Biosyn Valley, where she meets the valley's resident Giganotosaurus for the first time. This season also makes the Giga seem a lot more like an actual threat, as it attacks our heroes at one point, kills a Parasaur, and kicks Rexy's ass yet again. Though later on she does manage to surprise the Giga when it attacks our heroes, proving that she can indeed hold her own when necessary. I don't care what anyone says, that's a W for Rexy in my books. The group also gets attacked by a pack of Dilophosaurs, with one of them losing an eye after it was accidentally spat on by one of its packmates, as well as another attack from the Quetzalcoatlus. As the group tries to get away, the Quetzal ends up lifting the car they're in and dropping it high up in a tree. Ben ends up suffering from a life-threatening injury after he accidentally gets impaled by a Stegosaurus while he tried to save Brooklyn. With no car, the gang is forced to get to the medical facility on foot, and it takes them until nightfall to get there. They barely manage to escape the Therizinosaurus before entering the facility. While there, the gang treats Ben's wounds and Smoothie finally reunites with Bumpy. By this point, Biosyn is set ablaze, and many of the dinosaurs are forced back to the center of the valley for safety. Sammy and Yaz manage to get Bumpy and Smoothie reunited with Smoothie's father, which the group named Blender. Seriously, where the hell do they come up with these names? And they reunite with the others. By this point, the Giganotosaurus is dead after being defeated by Rexy and the Therizinosaurus, and the gang is ambushed by the Atrociraptors from before. They attack our heroes until Rexy saves the day yet again. She struggles, however, but luckily the Buck and the Doe from the Lost World come to her aid, and together the three Rexes fend off the Atrociraptor pack. The season ends with the group returning to America to live together for some time, and yes, Ben makes it out alive. Overall, this was a great finish to a fantastic show, and I was hooked from start to finish. Jurassic World Chaos Theory was a fun show that was action-packed and filled with great dinosaurs and characters. Whether it was introducing new dinosaurs or improving on older ones, the series knew how to utilize the dinosaurs to their full potential. Well, for the most part. While I did find the Giganotosaurus here to be an improvement over Dominion, there was one major problem I had with it. They completely changed the sounds it makes. Why they did this, I have no clue. The Giganotosaurus's roars in Dominion were iconic to what made this creature so terrifying in the first place. In fact, they changed the sound effects of a lot of the film dinosaurs. They did it with the Spinosaurus in Camp Cretaceous, as well as the Atrociraptors in this series, with them reusing Velociraptor sounds. Why change what made these dinosaurs so unique? Even the Indominus Rex kept its movie roars in Camp Cretaceous. I have heard that the reason the Spinosaurus was changed was because they lost the sound files for the JP3 Spinosaurus sometime before. But what's the Giganotosaurus's excuse? Did they not have the rights to some of these sound effects? That wouldn't really make much sense, seeing how Universe greenlit the series in the first place. But other than that little nitpick, the series was awesome, and I highly recommend it to anyone who loves the Jurassic films or dinosaurs in general. But what do you guys think? What was your favorite season? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.